So I've been wanting to talk about a few things that have been really bugging me lately. And the phrase bugging me being a massive understatement. Just a warning, this dollar store topic is going to open up a whole other can of worms. A whole barrel full of worms. Not to mention slugs, snakes, lizards, and parasites. So I hear that one of the bigger dollar store chains in Canada will be introducing $5 offerings, as the most expensive items so far are $4. First of all, I heard it on the news, so already I know it's a lie. Second, why doesn't the store just tell the truth? We're making record profits and sales. We made more money during COVID than any time in the entire history of the company. But the more we have, the more we want. So we're raising the prices of our $4 items to $5 because we're greedy. See? The truth. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. In this wonderful year of 2022, it's practically an impossibility to hear the truth. We're living in a time where lying is practiced and praised, and truth is held down like a f***ing slave about to be castrated. This isn't just about the dollar store. In general, I've never witnessed such excessive amounts of greed in all the years I've been on this sorry excuse for habitat. Like when that scumbag company, Activision Blizzard, reported record profit not too long ago. The most money they've ever made. Then fired 800 people. Politicians and elites hoarding so much money they impoverish entire nations. We got the likes of Bezos and Musk in a heated race with the whole world watching on with bated breath to see which one can become the world's first ever trillionaire. Meanwhile, families in the so-called wealthiest nations on Earth still struggle and go hungry, along with the rampant amounts of hunger and famine happening in other parts of the world, not to mention the rampant self-centeredness that is all of a sudden everywhere. Thanks Facebook, TikTok, Twit-Twat, digital cancer. Even in something as subtle as television commercials, I think we're all being trained into being more selfish people, to not help one another. I've seen 2 commercials recently that serve as examples. The first starts off with a quick shot of a physiotherapist holding a patient's leg while they lower it. And the whole time the therapist is looking at herself in the mirror, pleased with herself because she lost X amount of pounds on the so-and-so weight loss program. But why bother showing someone she's supposed to be helping? If I recall correctly, their older commercials would have people just standing alone, looking into a mirror, or holding a picture of what they used to look like before their weight loss. Now it's people not paying attention to people they're supposed to be helping. Some of the writing and acting in some of these commercials is just strange and bizarre. The second commercial isn't so subtle. It starts with a guy walking down a corridor heading outside, passing a guy on crutches. He swings the door open for himself, leaving the guy on the crutches in front of a closed door. Next, he walks by a mail carrier on their hands and knees, picking up fallen letters scattered across the sidewalk. The guy walks past the letter carrier, stepping on the letters. Next, he's sitting on a park bench next to a peaceful-looking young couple, laughing at the top of his lungs. Finally, he walks into the street, across a red light, as a Volkswagen SUV slams on its brakes, advertising that the vehicle can brake on its own. The guy on the phone turns to the car and gives the driver this pissy look, as if to say, "I'm walking here." He then continues across the red light. I don't know what's worse than this one, that oblivious prick, or the fact that we need our own vehicles to do our braking for us. I mean, when you're driving, when you're operating a vehicle that's capable of harming yourself and others, the only thing that should be taking up 100% of your attention is driving. I don't know what's wrong with the people designing these cars. A vehicle's dash doesn't have to look like an airplane's cockpit, distracting the shit out of the driver. And besides, on that Volkswagen they were advertising, it's just one more sensor to fail and break down. No pun intended. And those overpriced German cars are expensive enough to maintain as it is. But as they age, they become endless money pits. But back to the point. Like I said, some of these commercials are subtle, or meant to be brushed off as funny. But the fact that my mind thinks of selfishness, if only for a second, is telling enough. It's not rampant as of yet, and ultimately, it's up to the people writing these things, but I'm seeing it more and more. So we got a possible message to be selfish, don't help one another, plus this virus situation where we're being told to stay away from each other. More and more charities in need of assistance, and we the people being made poorer and poorer, struggling to assist them. More and more charlatans, scammers, and snake oil salesmen than ever before, attempting to scam folks out of what little they have. The price of food slowly going up. Fuel, housing, the most fucking basic of necessities, with prices still on the rise. A sudden upsurge of lottery, sports betting ads, online casinos, alcohol in the supermarkets, a baby formula shortage with this sucker, the largest farmland owner in the United States, trying to control the food supply, supplying his own brand at the exact same time the shortage happens. War. Thousands of innocent people's lives destroyed because of what? One country good, one country bad? You can believe that if you swallow that shit CNN is feeding you.
In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
If you know of one of the many aspects of the warmongering effort to keep everybody on the planet as suppressed as possible, called defense contracts, then you can see one of the big reasons why war happens. The companies who get billions of taxpayers' money to build the weapons so they can keep pumping out death. And of course, the people who have stock and financial interest in these companies, where the most profitable thing that can ever happen for them is nothing but war. And I wonder who they are. Oh yeah, the same people profiting and hoarding even more money from selling a vaccine for this scam of a pandemic they purposely started.
We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
Oh, you motherfucker!
I guess Chris Rock was right. They really are still pissed off about all the money they lost on polio. All of this, of course, circling around to the first topic of greed, while introducing the topics of control and power. Parasites talking about hacking DNA, re-engineering human life itself, to repopulate the Earth so everyone on the planet is a slave to the elites. And no, that's not a joke. The greed and hunger for control and power from the powers that be are off the charts. They're at bursting point. I've never seen so much bullshit happening all at once, and it's plain to see they're pushing it to the limit and fixing to make our lives a living hell if we don't do something about it. I don't know what else to say. I don't like sounding like a downer, but sometimes you have to rant. Get some frustrations off your chest. So what am I getting at? What's my point to this video? Maybe it's nothing of real value can be learned from a corporation. Have meaningful discussions about these topics. As long as it's anything the news is not talking about. Be kind. Be a decent human being. Simple things. Stay positive. Keep the faith. Oh yeah, the dollar store. That's how all this started. Well, let's get real. They'll most likely be raising prices. But if they do offer up some new warranted $5 items or bundles, I'll at least retract a portion of my statement. But I could definitely see them being sneaky about it and doing both. Overall, 2020 to 2022 gets a 3 out of 10. Well, that's it, I suppose. Be sure to throw me a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And with that, bye for now. Take care, peace out, and cut.